Wow. That is pretty amazing stuff. Brendan, a couple of weeks ago, just won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor for The Whale. He is nominated for an Academy Award, his first nomination, so well deserved. The BAFTA Award, so many others, an amazing talent. Please welcome Brendan Fraser.
Hi.
Wow. How do you like that? How do you like that reception? That was exactly what I told him the way it was in Indiana too. I didn't realize the power of Brendan Fraser till I experienced it that night, man.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, really. You have a huge following, and people grew up with you in the '90s. How many people grew up with Brendan in the '90s? And the aughts and everything ever since his 30-year career. Unbelievable 30 years. When I say 30 years, it seems like yesterday. How does it feel to you?
You're telling me. That was quick. Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
I should probably get a day job.
What do you think when you see a reel like that and you see, as I said, your cinematic life pass before you? And first of all, I'm so happy you're still in one piece, because that is a lot of physical work that we just saw fly by there, too.
Well, it looks like I swung around a lot. I didn't realize I did that so many times. That was exciting. That was a trip down memory lane for me. Great song, by the way, whoever's that is.
That is the Foo Fighters, and it also says a lot about you too. This is your time. This is your time. Shout out to Mike McGee, who produces this show, who picked that song too. Really impressive here. I mentioned welcome to the Renaissance, a little play on words. What do you think when you hear that term, Renaissance?
Honestly, I always look at the ceiling for some reason. I'm imagining there's Link touching fingers with Rick O'Connell. There's George smashing into the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. That's where my mind goes, anyway. I know it's a term of endearment. I get it. I'm very grateful, and I appreciate all the support that I have seen in recent years. Thank you for that.
And it's really varied work, too, but I'm so happy for you to have this recognition this year, where I have been running into you a lot at awards things and different things, and that means you are getting this kind of recognition from the industry for this incredible performance. And, just yesterday we were at the Oscar nominees luncheon. It was an amazing room. And, and there you are. What do you think about that?
It felt like some sort of school reunion, but less pressure to do anything. And you didn't have to wait to hear if your name would be called aloud or not. And there was a team photo, too.
Yeah. It was like a high school graduation photo. Everyone gets on risers, everyone, and there is no order to it. It's just Jamie Lee Curtis and a sound engineer, and then somebody else, and then, a documentary producer, and then Brendan, and, it's wild.
This is how the sausages are made, people.
How did you decide you wanted to make the sausage here?
Well, Pete.
Meaning, why did you decide to become an actor all those years ago?
I grew up with in an itinerant family. We traveled every 3-4 years. My father worked for Tourism Canada, so we were reposted every cycle. And in the 70s, we lived in Europe. I lived in Holland. And are there Dutch people here tonight? Tot ziens, dag. Friets met zonder mayonaise. That's a big joke in The Hague, let me tell you. I would take family holidays across the channel in London, where I first started seeing plays. I saw musicals. I saw mysteries. I saw anything that my parents could get a ticket to just get me out of their hair for the afternoon. And it opened my eyes to a world of wonder. It was the biggest, best toy box my kid brain could imagine, and it told stories. And I remember thinking, I want to do that. How do you do that? How do you get on that stage? And I'm still asking myself that very question right now.
You, speaking of stage, you've done a lot of theater work too. Was that a big adjustment going to movies from, what you have to do in theater, which is basically project to the back row and everything else?
As every acting student learns, and are there any actors in the house here tonight? I mean, we're in California. Hi, folks. Okay, I found my tribe. We all know that you play to the last row if you're standing up here. Yeah, that's a 10-inch brush if you're a painter, and if you want to work for a camera, get out the smaller ones and work on the details. Sometimes a laser beam. It was an adjustment to make that I did quickly. I started work right when I arrived in Los Angeles in '91. I did a screen test for a film called School Ties, and we'll likely talk about that soon. It's, I think, honestly, where I learned to act for camera, because I was kind of copying what Matt Damon was doing, because I was doing a screen test with him. So I figured, he's already got the job. He must have done something right.
I heard that Sherry Lansing, who was head of Paramount at the time, said to you got to come in and do a test. And did you know what that meant?
No idea. I immediately thought SATs. Some sort of exam, and it wouldn't be multiple guess.
And
it was a screen test, is what I learned. There were grown-ups behind making a deal, and there was going to be a movie made. And if you want to be a part of it, you really have to see if or not your work it reads on a big screen. And the only way to do that is to get in front of a camera, get good and righteously terrified, and basically just bare your soul and hope for the best. And that's the life of an actor when you're starting off.
Wow. Yeah. Well, what? This is a rowdy crowd, I can tell already. Yeah, Matt Damon, you did the test with Matt Damon, which is kind of unusual because you both wound up doing the movie.
Oh, he was already hired, like I said. So all those guys were. They were like,
Affleck.
Yeah, they were like, don't suck, we need a job, man.
That same year, you also did another film that is iconic now, and when I say the name, they'll go crazy, Encino Man. I know my audience. Yes.
You do. As hometown crowds go, I think we put them on the map.
Yeah.
Yes, Link, the thawed-out caveman, his heart was warmed thanks to your kind recognition of him. Thank you.
It's so physical. A lot of what you do in comedy, and we've seen you do in so many comedies, from that to George of the Jungle to others, where you're really banging your body around in things. And in Encino Man, you're covered with mud and everything. And what was that like going into right at the beginning of your career?
Dignity. Always dignity.
Always dignity.
It was a leap of faith. any actor, when you're starting off, well, even when you're around my age too, they say jump, you say how high. It's kind of the actor's creed. We're here because we love the work. We're here because we know how precious your time is, and we better be as good as we can be, because y'all paid for a babysitter or someone else back home. So, like the guys told me, don't suck, we need a job.
I have, yeah. This is the greatest audience. What was, I can't believe I'm asking it, what was the biggest challenge in playing Link in terms of Encino Man, in terms of acting there?
Fair play. Link is, well, let's just break this down. So,
it's a throwback to silent movies.
yes, you're right. I mean, I did look towards Buster Keaton and Chaplin and the silent film stars and more contemporary living stage clowns like Bill Irwin. Actors who behave, whose choices were made all physically, on always out of objective. What do I need to do to get to that place, get around this alligator, and don't go back? And you have to think in circuitous lines, but straight ones at the same time. And you have to really, you have to be fearless in a way, and feel like you're doing a tightrope walk all the time. Link is he's the new guy in town. He just wants to fit in. He wants to be anybody's friend. He's homesick. He kind of wants to go back to his former ways, but that's not possible. So he's going to make the best of it while he is in Encino with Pauly Shore and Sean Astin.
And I should say, how many have seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Okay. So, Best Supporting Actor nominee Ke Huy Quan was also in Encino Man.
That's right. He was. I saw him for a round table for Variety, and I was overcome with emotion. And I said, man, we're still fucking here. We're still here. I mean, look at us. And he was like, that's right, we are here, and we're not going anywhere.
I love it. I love Hollywood, that this is possible, that you and him are all nominated the same year for Oscars after you did this movie 32 years ago that we're about to look at a clip from right now, as well as School Ties. We're going to look at the output of Brendan Fraser in 1991 here. Encino Man and School Ties.